All right, welcome back to Vet on a Voyage. Today's treat is Celebration Key. We are going to do a first-person point of view walkthrough. I'm pretty excited about this. I had a lot of fun doing this. We went on the Carnival Conquest. It was a kind of a quick trip for us. It was a 3-night cruise. We were actually in the middle of 2 other cruises, and we were looking at different hotels in Miami that we were, interested in staying at. And then I thought, well, you know what? Let's see if there's any weekend cruises. And so we found this cruise. It was rather cheap and really honestly filled the need. For pretty much the price of a hotel for the weekend in Miami, we actually got to go on a cruise instead, a 3-night cruise. It was definitely a little bit of a party cruise. I will say that it was definitely a little more rowdy, as some of those quick 3-day or 3-night cruises are known for. They're big, happy party crowd. At this point in time, my wife and I, we were a little tired, so we just kind of hung back and, kind of chilled out a little bit. We really wanted to kind of preserve our energy for the cruise that we were going on the next week. So we definitely didn't want to kind of overdo it, but we were super excited to go to Celebration Key, as we are slated to go to Celebration Key this summer with my kiddos. And so we wanted to kind of check it out first and just kind of get a lay of the land, see how things are. So this is us walking down the pier. For those of you that don't know, Celebration Key actually is not so Carnival calls it their private island. It's not actually just its own island. It's a little spot that's actually on the island of Grand Bahama, which, I mean, to me, that's fine. I don't really care, I still got that island vibe. I still enjoyed myself. And this day was actually kind of overcast for the first part of the day. There was a couple of storms that were actually running through. And so, when we were walking down the pier, we were kind of nervous that it was going to rain out all day, but fortunately we only got a couple sprinkles here and there. I know, some other videos on YouTube, have nice, bright and sunny days. Unfortunately, as we all know with cruising, sometimes the weather doesn't quite pan out the way that you want it to. And that's okay. That's totally okay. My wife and I, we are pretty laid back. We kind of roll with the punches. So when stuff like that happens, we're totally okay with it. Cool thing is, with Celebration Key, they do have these trams that you can ride all the way from the ship to Paradise Plaza. Super awesome, especially if you've been walking around all day and your feet hurt, or if you're just kind of itching to get off the ship and, get a little physical activity in. You're more than welcome to actually walk down the pier. I always like to take the path of least resistance. That's my thing, so I would rather take the tram. Why not? So this is us pulling up to Celebration Plaza. They've got that awesome, beautiful arch right there. Now, mind you, Celebration Key actually just opened last year, and so far so good. Honestly, I was very surprised. After having spent a day there, I will say that, Carnival really did themselves well here. I know Royal Caribbean kind of has their own private island, Coco Cay, and I've been to Coco Cay, and you know, it's a whole experience. And I've got to say, you know, Carnival really has put put together quite a beautiful place, and they're really giving Royal a run for their money, I'll tell you that. Now, Celebration Key is actually split up into, they call them different portals. One side is Calypso Lagoon, the other side is Starfish Lagoon. The Starfish Lagoon is actually more geared towards families. There is a splash pad over there. Calypso is more adult friendly. And so that's kind of where we hung out most of the day. I mean, we did get to, you know, walk around a little bit, but right in front here on the left, you'll see Calypso Beach. That's actually the main beach that you can go to, and, you know, swim and see the ships, get a good picture right there. A lot, there's some photographers standing around sometimes, and the water is beautiful right there. Now, walking along here, this is kind of the pathway that goes around the entire, it's like one big loop. Now, obviously, you know, we just passed some brick pavers. They are still working on Celebration Key. They are still doing their finishing touches, little pieces here and there. And for me, honestly, I'm happy with that. That's what I want to see. I want to see them continuing to, you know, do improvements, and to me that makes me comfortable knowing that, you know, my money's going towards something and it's actually doing something. Now, this side of Calypso Lagoon is ages 13 plus. I'll tell you right off the bat. So there were two ships in port this day. So there was the Carnival Sunrise and our ship, the Carnival Conquest. Funny story, we're actually going on the Carnival Sunrise this summer. So pretty stoked about that. Yes, I know that the Carnival Sunrise is known as the Poop Cruise, but from what I have seen, you know, with walkthrough videos and what I've heard, they definitely have revamped the ship. I saw that it was in dry dock just a few years ago, and I watched a video of the Carnival Sunrise pretty recently, and I was pretty impressed. I mean, Carnival Conquest was actually in dry dock the week before this sailing. There was one 4-night sailing after dry dock, and then the 3-night sailing that we are on right now. And I will say that they definitely did some good stuff. There's definitely, you know, some things needed, you know, on the Conquest. It is an older ship, you know, and they've been sailing it quite heavily. Something I would suggest I would like to see is, you know, a little bit more care taken as far as, you know, making sure things are clean, especially the walls, you know, some of the floors. There were some areas that were kind of, you know, lackluster. I mean, especially after it coming out of dry dock, I would have liked to have seen it a little bit more taken care of. But, you know, I also am very understanding. I know that's doing a dry dock on a ship is a feat in and of itself, and they can only do so much with so much time. So as I, you know, say, I give props to these guys. They do a wonderful job. I know that they can't knock everything out at once. And so, you know, hopefully they've, you know, rectified, you know, a couple of those things. But now we passed the food trucks. You do, and a barbecue shack right there. So on your Celebration Key day, you will get one free meal with your Sea Pass. Now, we should have went to the food trucks. My wife and I actually ended up going to the main food hall. And I think that I would have rather liked the food trucks more. As you can see, there are lockers and bathrooms pretty much everywhere. And this is great. I didn't feel like it was crowded at all. Even though there was 2 ships in port, I didn't feel crowded at all. And that's something that really annoys me when I'm over on other, you know, private islands, when it just feels so gobsmacked with people that you can barely move. That's kind of always a down thing for me. I like space. I like, you know, spreading my wings out a little bit. And with Celebration Key, I got to tell you, that's really a selling point for me, is the fact that it wasn't super packed. And that, I mean, I'll definitely go back just for that aspect. As you can tell, there are cabanas that you can rent. So those chairs right up there, those you can actually sit in for free. My wife and I, we grabbed some front row seats to the lagoon, actually right there, and we really enjoyed ourselves. We spent, you know, a couple of hours there. It was nice and relaxing. It was quiet. There was a couple of these bigger cabanas that were rented, but they were nice. They were respectful as well. I saw one that has a water slide out of it. But yeah, so me, I mean, I would rather save a little bit of money and not rent one of those. Now, over on the left there, you kind of saw it a little bit, is actually a pharmacy box. So say you get a headache or something like that on Celebration Key, you can actually go to that pharmacy box and you know, scan your card. They've got all sorts of stuff in there. Anything, honestly, that you could ever think of. It's like a giant pharmacy vending machine. Now we're headed into the shops area. There's rum cake. By the way, we tried the rum cake. It's good. Definitely good. We got some rum cake and had some coffee with it. Oh, that was good. Now, this is what they call Lacono Cove. Locono Cove? Lacono? I've heard different variations of it. It's like one of those things, you know, is it key or is it K? I just roll with it and say whatever I want. I go with my interpretation. Now that water slide right there, that is a paid excursion. However, it's honestly not bad. A couple of water slides there, you know, with the big sand castle. Now underneath that sand castle is actually a coffee shop. And by the way, the coffee shop, the coffee is phenomenal. A lot of the shops there have some really good stuff. Here we are heading into Starfish Lagoon. This is the more family-friendly side of Celebration Key. Now I don't know about you, but I think that sitting right there next to what could possibly be or is the largest pool in the Bahamas. It is an actual pool. It is not just a little piece of water or a saltwater beach, whatever. It's an actual pool, and it's actually very comfy to walk around in. I felt like the bottom was soft. It was nice. They've got it seems like this white, I don't know if you've ever been in a pool that has hard sides but a soft bottom. Felt like that. Now there are hammocks and stuff around that you can kind of hang out in. There's speakers everywhere, as you can see right there. So there's music all over the place. We actually saw a parade as well. I'll post that in a different video. And it was like a Caribbean steel drums. If you know anything of anybody who knows me knows that I love steel drums. I love the sounds of the Caribbean. And start singing with a nice steel drum. That's a good day to me. Now this is Gill's Grill. They do a little more seafood. This is also a bar that you could have a couple drinks at as well. There are concierge posts kind of all over the place, smattered around. Back over here, there's, what is that? Tennis, pickleball. Don't hate me in the comments. I know some folks will get mad if I call it tennis. It's pickleball. Now those lockers, you can actually tap to pay. And at this point of our sailing, it was $15 to rent the locker for the whole day, and you could actually come and go as many times as you needed to. So my wife and I, we actually took advantage of that because I usually carry a lot of camera gear with me, and so it was nice to be able to put it down and just have my CPAS with me and one camera and be able to kind of walk around and experience all there is to experience. All right, coming up on the left, there are some more food trucks. And I've got to tell you, I know I said it earlier, I really wish I would have gone to the food trucks first. I know that I definitely will be this summer. They've got, fried conch fritters, kind of some more local type cuisines. Whenever my wife and I are out on a cruise, we usually like to kind of experience whatever the local scene is, whatever the local food is. We like to go to Mexico a lot, and so that's kind of one of our things. We just love the food there. We always try to find, a good restaurant that has as authentic as possible. Now, as you can see, there is another pharmacy box over there on the left. Just tap your card, and it'll dispense whatever that you need. There's Tylenol, Motrin, Tums, sunscreen. Now that yellow building right there, that is actually one of the main food halls. That is where we ended up eating our lunch. I think I got the chicken tenders, and I believe she got, what did she got some sort of Thai. I want to say it was some sort of chicken tacos. We ended up eating later towards the end. So this is only open until I want to say it's about 2:30ish in the afternoon. And then after that, your best bet is the food trucks. So by the time we went, the food was actually kind of a little dry. Another cabana concierge. Now, right behind these bushes, up on the right, this is the splash pad that I was telling you about. This is for the littles. If you don't want your kids to go in the pool, this is, I believe, like maybe a foot deep-ish. Great place to hang out if you have little ones. And as you can see, we are back at Paradise Plaza. There is guest services up ahead, shore excursions, another bathroom. I'm going to walk over here real quick. I just want to show you the beach. You can swim on both sides of this pier. I would say this side facing the ships is probably going to be my more favorite. And there it is. Not terrible, not too crowded. Just right, honestly. And there you have it, folks. Celebration Key walkthrough. I do have a 360 video of that, literally of that same walk. Thank you to, big shout out to my wife for filming that. I gave her the 360 camera and I said, all right, walk behind me. So I'm going to be editing that and have that done here pretty soon. That way, if you want to have more of a 360 view of Celebration Key, that will be available here pretty soon on my YouTube or wherever I post it. Other than that, I hope that you enjoy yourself out there and hope to see you on a cruise soon.